Look at that, y'all. Beef stroganoff. Affordable, quick, and a delectable delight for your belly. Come with me, let's cook this. Hello everyone, I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. Today, we are going to make some beef stroganoff. Now, it's not your traditional recipe. I wasn't raised with your traditional recipe. My nan used to make it with cream of mushroom soup as a way to make it more affordable. And when I was a young adult, I done it the same way. So my children were raised with that way. I just, of course, added more spices than my Nana did. But today, we're going to do the version that I like to do of it currently. If you would like to see the original version, just let me know and I'll make a video of that too. It really is super affordable for in today's expensive world. This one's not super expensive either. First, we're going to cut up some onions. And then we are going to wipe down our mushrooms just to clean them off a bit. Don't stick them in water. You just want to use a damp cloth to clean them up. And we're going to quarter those. This we're doing a nice rough chop on. You know, it's a rustic dish. So we don't need to be too fancy about all our cuts. Woo! That was dangerous. I've got our onion cut. I have a pot of elbow pasta cooking on the stove behind us, and I'm just using a damp paper towel to wipe down our mushrooms to make sure they're clean. You don't want any of that dirt left on them. Once you've cleaned them, you're just going to cut them in quarters, just in fours. I've done this using shiitakes and some other mushrooms just to add different flavor, but my son likes things very plain and simple. And since it's him I'm cooking for tonight because the hubby is off in another state with his job. So like I said, just wipe it down, give it a little cut in half, and then half again. All you're doing is quartering them. I'm using baby bellas and button mushrooms today. Our pasta is finished cooking, so I've strained it and sat it to the side, and I've preserved some of the pasta water to use later. What we're going to do now is we are going to get our onions going and we are going to get our mushrooms going. So in this pan, I'm melting down some butter for the onions, and over here, we're melting down some butter for the mushrooms. Our butter has melted, so we are going to add our mushrooms to this pan. Now remember what I've said before, you do not want to salt them yet. And we are going to put our onions in this pan. One of the things I like to add to my mushrooms when I'm cooking them in butter is I like to add a touch of ground cinnamon. Just adds another little layer of flavor, nice little depth to it. We are going to cook these until they are slightly golden, and we are going to cook the mushrooms down until they have some color on them as well. Our mushrooms are getting some nice color to them, and our onions have some nice color to them as well. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put in our ground beef, and we're going to break this up. We're going to add some salt. Remember, you want to add flavor and build your seasoning along the way. We can add some salt to our mushrooms now because they've released their liquid. And we're going to add some pepper. At this stage, we want to add some of our seasoning so it can wake up. We're going to add some Aleppo pepper. We're going to add some thyme. And instead of regular garlic, we are going to add some powdered black garlic for a different depth of flavor. We're going to add some of my umami powder that I've made up. Some Leon pairings. This smells amazing. I wish y'all could smell it. Smell-o-vision. Sometimes that would be a great thing. Other times, probably not so great. And a touch of liquid smoke. As you can see, our mushrooms have some really nice color to them. We are going to now mix these in with our ground beef. Now, if you are trying to save money, because meat is expensive, this beef is just 1 pound. And we're going to add the mushrooms, and it's going to bump up that meaty feel to the dish and add another layer of flavor to it. We're now down to 1 pan running, so we are going to add some flour to this, and we're going to cook out our flour a bit. There's enough fat left in the pan from the butter and the beef that you do not need to add anymore. This beef was like 90-10, so there wasn't a ton of fat, but you want to cook this flour down so that you do not have a raw flour taste in your dish. Our flour has cooked down, so now we are going to add some beef stock. And this is going to build our gravy. As this heats up, the sauce will thicken. While you're waiting for that to happen, make sure you're scraping the bottom to release the fond from the pan. That is flavor. Never, never, never leave flavor untouched. If we want this to have a nice richness to it, a nice depth of flavor. Layers, baby, layers. As you can see, our sauce is thickening nicely. There's a couple more things we want to add now. You want to add a little nutmeg, just for another secret flavor. And then we want to add some sour cream. It's going to make it creamy, and it's going to add a nice tartness to this dish. I hope the camera's not getting too steamy up there. I'm trying to find other ways to film so you guys can get better shots of what's going on at the stove. Okay, before we add the pasta, we want to do a taste test. Nope, that's good the way it is. We do not need to add anything else. So you're going to take your cooked pasta. Like I said, I just used plain old elbow pasta. And you're going to add it to the pot. And then you're just going to mix these together. We have everything mixed together and our dish is good to go. You probably noticed I had to change my hair partway through the video. My braids kept falling out. And I did not want to keep messing with my hair when I'm working with food. When my son eats this dish, he likes to add cottage cheese to it to add just a little more substance to it. You could also sprinkle some chopped cilantro or some chopped parsley over top. That would be really good. Maybe grate some Parmesan on there. That would be delicious. Let's try this. That is freaking delicious, y'all. You need to try this dish. It's affordable. It's delicious. It has a good depth of flavor. If you're interested in seeing how to do an even more affordable, quicker version of this, let me know, and I will post it another time for you. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. And if you're enjoying my content, please subscribe and share. I hope you all have a blessed and wonderful night. Bye-bye.